Hello, you are tuned into Inspired Humboldt, where we shed light on local cultural creatives who are uplifting the community through creativity, consciousness raising, and holistic healing.
This is Patrick Walsh, and I'm Casey McLean, and we are part of Arising Community, a local nonprofit organization and one of the many Dreammaker projects of the Ink People. We'd like to thank the Ink People today for the use of this space and for all the support they give us. And also to the Mars Project, who's videoing, editing, and doing all things technical.
So today our guest is Cory Goldman. Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
Cory, if you could just tell us a little bit about yourself and maybe how you came to Humboldt.
So, I'll start with how I came to Humboldt. I guess I'm going to start with a little bit about myself. Got to tell you something about myself. So, I'm a musician and audio person, doing all things audio creatively, and I've been doing that sort of thing pretty much my entire life. I'm not originally from here, though, as you seem to have figured out. I'm from Oregon originally, and before I moved to Humboldt, I was mostly doing like a performing musician kind of thing. So I had a few different bands that I played in, mostly bluegrass kind of oriented sort of music. And I did that for a number of years. Then we traveled a lot. It was a cool thing where we got to tour and like a little bit nationally, a little bit internationally, pretty neat. But in my travels, I started coming through Humboldt and being like, oh, this place is pretty interesting, and eventually met my partner on one of those trips and was ready for a change of scene. Like, I think I've come to realize that I'm not really a big city person so much. I enjoy visiting, but I don't really want to live in one. So like I live in Arcata now, and being in Humboldt and in Arcata specifically is like way more my pace. So I've been really fortunate to like find that like when I landed here, like there was like already a cool community of musicians and creative people. So I didn't really felt like I could keep doing what I was doing in some capacity, So I started right away teaching music lessons and stuff, and then kind of fell into working at the Mars Project, kind of by coincidence almost. And yeah, that's how I ended up doing this. So,
that's cool. It's meant to be.
Yeah, totally. The story behind that is my good friend Lindsay Battle was like one of the first people I met here who I hadn't known beforehand. She's a musician. We still play music together. And she was living with Kyle, who was the music mentor, which is my job title here at Mars, before me, and encouraged me to apply for the position. And so
cool.
And then
And can you tell us about the Mars Project, more about
that? Sure. So it's a difficult thing to explain concisely, so I'll do my best. But Mars Project is a youth program. It's open to youth age 12 to 26. It's got my numbers flipped. And which is a pretty broad range, right? Yeah. And the idea is that we are, myself and Jay, who's behind the board here, is we're mentors, and our job is to help guide students from wherever they're at in their creative journey to wherever they'd like to be, and with an emphasis on digital media technology stuff. Although it's not exclusively that, it seems to be partially what people are interested in, and partially that's a big gap in a lot of the education that people get, specifically like creative digital media. We often learn how to do technical stuff with computers, like write papers and stuff. But it's fun to learn how to do things like make art, and so that's what we do. So we generally operate a drop-in program that is open 4 days a week, but COVID has really made that super complicated. So we've transitioned mostly to working remotely, which is more or less successful depending on what people are trying to do. I'm very anxious to be able to get students back in person again, because doing the kind of live music performance stuff is not really very easy to teach or to work on remotely when you have that temporal disconnect. So but that's what we're up to.
And is there videos online that people can get? Because I know Jace has some videos up like that people can.
Absolutely, yeah. So we do create some like instructional content that we upload to YouTube. But one of the cool projects that we've been doing the last few months is live streaming. So we've been streaming every Thursday night. It's been kind of a mixed bag of like sort of like live demonstration tutorial kind of stuff, and like lately we've been kind of shifting towards kind of having more kind of general creative discussions with guests, which has been really fun.
Okay.
Like similar to this, but kind of just like casual talking shop, like trying to like show people what like the tech nerds talk about behind the scenes about the media, you know, because like I think everyone wants to like. It's common that people want to be on camera, you know, like people want to be the one doing the performance or whatever, but there's like this whole world of behind the scenes stuff that like, you know, is not only like really, to me, really interesting. It's important to know about if you want to like take your productions to a certain level. And then also like it's an employable skill too. So like we try and focus on like the like applicability of what we teach our students to like professional skills later on too, and like ideally connect people with professional interests to like actual working professional mentors like ourselves.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
It's pretty cool. It's a very like my favorite thing about it is it's very flexible. So we're given a lot of freedom to do what students want to do. There's no curriculum. There's no expectations other than that people are interested and like have something they want to do.
Totally.
You know.
That's a really revolutionary way to run an organization. I mean, it's new and.
So on that note too, the pretty crucial aspect that I didn't mention is that because we are a nonprofit program, we are entirely funded via grants and donations. So it is free to all participants, which really resonates a lot with me. I teach private music lessons too, and music lessons are very like it's kind of a bougie activity. Like it's not cheap, you know. I try and make it affordable for people, but it's still, you know, like it's an expense. And so like being able to work with people who that whatever that like weekly fee is would be a financial barrier to them, like it's awesome. And like people are really grateful, and there's so much cool creativity out there that like wouldn't get expressed otherwise. And so like Jay and I get to help bring that stuff to life. It's really satisfying.
So neat, yeah. And you're helping us bring this to life too. It's like so much good comes from it.
Absolutely. Yeah. Like I said, we're very flexible and given a lot of freedom in what we do to like help assist the community in whatever, you know, like the creative community in whatever way we can. So, yeah, it's really neat. The level of job satisfaction is very high.
Definitely. Yeah. Cool. Well, you kind of touched on how you got involved with the Ink People, but what has it been like, you know, other than just the Mars project, being part of the Ink People?
I mean, like, so my work with Ink People has been almost exclusively Mars oriented. So like I kind of like, I don't always see the bigger picture, although we've been folded into officially folded into the organization instead of we're now like more of a core program than we were even before, and so I get to see a little bit more of the behind the scenes stuff and just like my favorite thing about working here, I mean, aside from how much I like my job, and I do really enjoy the people I work with too, but I've been really fortunate to like work with a bunch of really awesome women who have like mentored me through the process of becoming a mentor. Like specifically Livy Maynard, who's our executive director, and also Katie Texas, who worked for Mars for many years before she left to go work for Scrap Humboldt. And Katie's always had like a really amazing way with kids and just like with students of all ages, and just her the way she handled herself and the way she handled the program like really made a big impact on me. So like I've learned a ton from being here, like not only about like the technical stuff that I have to know to do my job, but like more about like how to like live the kind of values that I care about, you know, through like just a bunch of people doing a really great job by example.
Totally.
So it's really nice.
I love that.
Pleasant place to work. In many degrees.
Just a little bit that we've done with Ink People, Katie Texas helped us a lot, and Monica Topping and Libby Maynard. I mean, the women here are incredible.
Yeah.
And
Jay and I are the only men who work here, actually. Yeah.
And also, as the way you fold into Ink People is you help Dreammaker projects, like you're volunteering for this. So if there's Dreammakers of the Ink People, you people, help them with media. And
Yeah, totally. So Mars, in addition to doing the youth stuff, we operate as like a kind of in-house media production lab for like our Dreammaker programs, of which there are, I think, I feel like there's 80 or, do you know how many there are now?
Wow.
I heard there's over 100
yeah,
at
yeah.
one point.
Wow.
Yeah, they're
But active and inactive.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Right.
Yeah, there's quite a few programs. They don't always come and ask for our help, so it's fun to get to do this sort of thing where it's a little more involved than just like making a quick radio PSA or like a flyer or something like that. But yeah, that's all kind of stuff we do too. Ideally, we'd like to get students on board, but again, with the COVID stuff, it's like it doesn't make sense to bring them into this room right now. So.
Yeah. Totally.
Can you tell us just a little bit more about your music?
Oh, sure, yeah. So I actually do I do stuff on my own too. So like outside of this world, like I said, I'm a musician, and I've had like, I guess I've had a bunch of different projects in town over the years, but I think there are 3 that still exist. They survived the quarantine and have emerged out the other side. So like I mentioned my friend Lindsay Battle, who's a singer-songwriter, and I've been playing her music with her for almost 10 years. Play banjo and guitar with her. And then I have some good friends who I met before I moved here, we have a old-time string band together called the Striped Pig String Band. So if anyone's ever been to any square dances around Humboldt ever, you've probably seen me play. I really love that kind of music a lot. That's like a weird passion of mine that I have. So I'm like, super grateful that there are people who play it like well here, that I can like hang out with and like get into it, because it's a really niche kind of thing. Like, anyways, so I also have a rock band too. It's called Wild Abandon. We're in the middle of recording an album. That got really derailed by COVID. It was a while. It's really hard to get 4 people in the room when it's illegal or whatever. So, but we're gonna start tracking guitars and almost done with that. So I'm really excited to finish that up. Then I also, I have like a solo music project thing. Like, is under the name Bumble Crow. It's not very active. It's mostly like kind of where my home for like kind of experiments, like songwriting and production kind of experiments. There's some music coming out online under that name sometime soon too. And then I'm always open to doing other things too. So like all sorts of fun weird collaborations come up from time to time. I got to be in the house band for a really fun theater production, the Papaya Lounge. You guys know about the Papaya Lounge?
Yeah, sure.
It's a kind of a pretty risque production with a bunch of more rad women Del Arte grads who put it on, and so we're hoping to do some more of that when we are allowed to do that again. So yeah, and who knows what else? I'm open for whatever.
Yeah.
So, part of like part of my job and part of my whole thing is like a creative person is like generally just kind of trying to be down for stuff. Like I feel like saying yes to things has been good for me. You know what I mean? Like if you're just down to be the guy who's like in like game to do a thing, you get involved in all kinds of fun stuff.
Totally, yeah. So. Being open
totally.
to more, yeah.
Yeah, and also like open to like seeing what other people are like, what their creative thing is. Like I find that like I really thrive as like a support person. Like that's like my job in life, I think. You know what I mean? Like like I don't like feel personally driven to be like in the spotlight or like on camera, like I'm happy to be interviewed, but you know what I mean? Like I'm not like driven by like the like whatever the ego boost of that.
More driven by the joy.
Yeah, I just like doing the thing, and if people enjoy what I do, that's great too. But like I like helping other people like realize their vision, and sometimes that just involves just doing what they want me to do, and that's cool too.
Totally. Yeah, I can relate to that.
Trying to be a good team player.
Yeah,
like music's very much about that. So.
That's super neat.
That's where the real rewards come
totally.
in.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, friendships and good collaborations and all that good stuff.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, if you could accomplish anything and you knew you would succeed.
If I could accomplish anything, I said I was happy to answer this question, and I am. I kind of feel like this is gonna sound kind of cheesy maybe, but I sort of feel like I'm doing what I want to do already. like maybe not at the like level that it could happen, you know, like like Mars could be a bigger program, like I could be playing some bigger, cooler gigs or something like that. But I think honestly, like if I live a life where I get to like show up to my job and enjoy it every day and like get to do fun creative things, like that's my definition of success. And so like I don't need much more than that. Maybe that's me being a little unambitious, but honestly, like I'm pretty satisfied.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Good. Contentment is rare, so
or peace.
Totally.
Peace.
You know, like part of my journey as an artist too is like trying to define what success is meant to me. You know what I mean? And like I just feel like I'm looking for that more like day-to-day kind of satisfaction than I am like those like kind of like big highs of like some career success. You know, I've like sort of had some of those, you know, so I've like experienced that, and you know, like just the satisfaction of like helping someone develop their own creativity over like months or years or whatever, like that's more fun to me than any of my own personal successes. So
I was gonna ask like what inspires you, but I feel like that kind of answered that question. But is there any one you've been inspired by growing up, or inspired to do music, or keeps you inspired?
Yeah, I mean, there's like in terms of like specific individuals or like artists or something like that. Yeah, like I mean, I should say my dad's a really early influence. You know, like I grew up like in a household where my dad like played guitar and piano and sang. You know, very casually, like not at all serious, but it was like music was around, and they stuck me in music lessons really young. So it's like I don't really remember there being a time when it wasn't something I was thinking about or like focused on. But like definitely had like I got really lucky to have like a few mentors, like mostly in that like kind of bluegrass music space, but like who really like helped shape my idea of what like a professional musician should do and look like what doing that job looks like and stuff. So shout out to the Foghorn String Band up in Portland, and Jack Straw, who are a bunch of great folks who really helped me figure out what I was doing in life. Yeah, and then I don't know, like I feel like I learn a lot from my students all the time too. Like and I find them really inspiring. Like what they care about, what, you know, like I'm always learning new things, and like it really helps. I think there's a thing that happens when you, like I'm 34, and when you get into your 30s, there's a thing that starts happening where you kind of like I feel like there's a sort of a hardening of who you are as a person, maybe, or like what you like, you know, like, and I feel like I get to like remain a little more open because I have to be receptive and like to someone half my age, and like what are they like, and connect with them about what they like. And so like I'm always like I tell people this, but like I feel like I can like get in, like find something inspiring in anything, you know, even if it's like music I don't like or something. There's always something cool to like. There's a reason somebody likes it, right? And like, if you can figure out what that is, you learn something, and you build some empathy too in the process, which is nice.
Yeah, or like some force behind its manifestation.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like whether it's just the message, or even just like the sort of the cultural force behind the thing or whatever. Yeah. I try and stay current and present with that stuff, and so like working with young people is awesome for that, you know. Like
it'll keep you young too.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Cool. Well, thank you so much for being with us. It was a pleasure talking with you.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah.
And we'll put some links in some ways, maybe to if people want to find out more about your music or more about you, in the links below. So thank you for joining us. We'll see you next time.
Yep. See you next time. Bye guys.